We're the indie project Bee and Theo, and we've been living and travelling the world in vans for the past 6 years. We're currently renovating an abandoned stone barn in Portugal to turn into a beautiful tiny home for us and our cats Ginjey Bear and Furrnando. Follow our journey from the very beginning as we document the whole process of creating an off-grid home.
Hello guys, welcome back to another video here from our property in Central Portugal. I can't say it's sunny this morning because it's actually really foggy. It's quite eerie. When I woke up this morning there was lots of fog rolling through and you couldn't really see that far ahead of you, but the sun is starting to burn it off and it looks like it's actually going to be quite a nice day. I know what you guys are thinking. What is that big white thing doing sat right in the middle of your property? I was on my way back from the city and I saw this old chest freezer at the side of the road, and me being me, I just couldn't leave it there because it looked in pretty good condition. I'm sure the electrics don't work, but that's not a problem. I thought what this would be useful for is a root cellar. We're gonna start a garden really soon and this will be perfect if I bury it underground, make a nice little root cellar in a place where it gets no sun. This should stay nice and cool. Inside, all it needs really is a good scrubbing, good clean out. And then what I'm thinking is bury this in the ground and then have a nice big insulated lid on the top. And we should be good to keep some of our veggies cool.
You don't eat apples, mate. You're a carnivore. Not for you.
What are you doing?
The boy who eats anything. Thank you for walking on them. I'm a monster. I absolutely love picking apples from this tree because it's my favourite tree. It's beautiful, it looks like a great spot to read a book underneath, which I've not actually done yet. It's on the list of things to do. But look at all these apples that I've got. This is a daily occurrence. I've been making lots of desserts, apple pie, apple crumble, and they're good.
I can confirm they are amazing.
So it really never gets old being able to pick fruit off the trees and they just grow them. You don't have to even do anything. It's just a really nice feeling eating the fresh fruit from your property.
I'm going to eat this one now.
Picking our own fruit off the trees is brilliant, but something we both want to do is grow our own vegetables as well, and we're going to show you something really exciting in a little bit. But firstly, I'm going to do some food prep using this authentic Japanese knife sent to us by Husk. The Husk Premium Control Knife comes out of the box razor sharp and stays that way for years. The blade is made from high quality Japanese steel, and just looking at this blade I can tell it's going to make chopping a breeze. Now it's time to actually get ahead with the food prepping like I said we were going to do. This is such a sharp knife that it's going to make it very nice cutting tomatoes, because I'm sure you've had the same experience as me when you're trying to cut something and the blade isn't sharp and the knife just slips really dangerously. This is just an absolute breeze. Look at that, it's going through this tomato like butter. Gotta say, that was a lot of fun to chop that tomato. So yeah, I'm just going to put everything in here that I'm cutting now, ready to make a beautiful pizza in a little bit. The ergonomic oak and carbon onyx handle makes for a comfortable grip, along with the strategically placed hole in the 6-inch blade itself to place your finger for a steady hold, and weighs only half a pound.
This husk knife has arrived at the perfect time because I've been planning some really cool fishing and camping trips in some really remote areas, and I'm definitely going to take this knife along with me.
Husk is currently offering all of our viewers 50% off their authentic Japanese knives, and you can test them out with a 30-day money-back guarantee. But the offer won't last for long, so make sure you click the special link in our video description and pinned comment below.
I skipped breakfast this morning, so all of this talk about apple pies and cooking has got me really hungry. The other day when it was a rainy day, Bee cooked 5 small apple pies and we absolutely demolished them. They didn't even make it to the end of the day. Bee has just fired up the pizza oven. It's already smelling really nice, and the pizzas that cook in this oven are always delicious. I can't wait, and we're going to use the veggies that Bee prepared earlier.
And now I'm slightly biased because I'm talking about my own food that I cooked myself, but the pizza was very, very nice. And now I'm going to take you down to where we're planning on building our very own vegetable garden.
So where our vegetable garden's going to be situated is on the terrace just below our house. That means we have good access to it, and I had a couple of hours the other day and I started to take this wall apart. So what these walls do is they create the terrace. So what they do is they flatten the land and then they build a stone wall, and this holds back all of the earth from the higher terrace level. So we've got this lovely terrace up here which soon is going to be beautiful green grass, and we've started to grow some really nice fruit trees, and we've already got olive trees like this next to me, and we've got some lovely pines, oaks and corks already on that terrace. And down here this is going to be our growing level, and what I've done is just taken the wall apart because it was really hard to actually get from this terrace down to this one, stepping over loads of weird cobbly stones. So what I've done is I've taken it apart and I've started to build steps down through the wall, and I'm going to build the stone wall up here to this stone, up here to this tree, so there's kind of like a nice area to walk down. But what happened, if you come a bit closer, you'll see as I started to create these stairs, I did the first one and then the second one I hit stone, which was a bit of a pain.
That's a boulder straight to the ground,
Proper big boulder. So I'm either going to have to come out with my hammer and chisel a step into the stone, or I'm going to bring out the big guns, pull out the jackhammer and get rid of this stone and continue building a really nice staircase down into the lower terrace. So, because Bee's going to be carrying lots of things down here, we need easy access, and it's only about 50 meters from our house, so we can come down here, pick veggies and then head back to the kitchen.
This right here is where we're planning on having our vegetable garden, and we're going to start off small because neither of us have grown any vegetables ever in our entire life, and we're going to do it raised bed style. So we're going to have a lower raised bed made out of wood just over here, and then 2 more here made out of corrugated iron that are a bit higher up, that we're really excited to fill with loads of old wood and stuff. I want to say the name of the style that it's based on.
Horticulture.
I don't know if that's
something
correct,
like that.
but it's when you put like all wood and stuff at the bottom, old logs and things.
Broom,
and
we've got tons of broom.
like there's that broom there that'll be coming down. All those scraps of wood and stuff like that, nice and natural to create a good old compost in the future, and then soil and compost and mulch and all that sort of stuff. So we're excited about that. And then over here, Theo is going to build me at some point, because we are also converting the barn.
I'm excited to build something. I love building structures.
You do love building stuff. He's going to build me a little greenhouse. So I'm excited about having a greenhouse as well. And then there's going to be other different types of things as well. We've got this old metal bath thing that we bought back in the UK years ago. That's going to be a little herb garden, and then just little things around and about, maybe some tomatoes growing from the ground, see how that goes. But we're really excited about it because being able to grow your own food and eat it, and like Theo said, the house is just there, pick some food and then go and cook it for lunch or dinner, it's just really exciting. And the idea of that is something that I've never wanted to do because I never thought I'd have time, but now we do.
So this IBC right here, this was our original swimming pool on the first summer that we spent on our property. We needed somewhere to cool down and it served its purpose. But right now we're going to empty this out because it's got a little bit grimy, because obviously it's got no lid, and we're going to take it to the position of where it's going to be used to irrigate our garden. This is absolutely perfect. It's not doing anything. We can recover the top, and we're going to use this and gravity feed a hose pipe to our garden so Bee can water the plants every single day. But it is grimy and I need to empty it, and it's quite heavy. Only another 100 metres to go. So this area needs a little bit of cleaning. A couple of broom bushes in the way. But we're going to block this IBC up, and the reason we've chosen to have it here is because it's already uphill of the vegetable garden. I imagine once we get it on blocks, there's going to be a 3 metre difference from the bottom of this IBC tap to our vegetables, which will create a nice little bit of pressure on the hose without any pump or anything. Just gravity feed it, keep it as super simple as we can.
The next thing that we need to do is get inside the barn all sorted and organised, because we need access to this wall that, as you can see, currently has 1 million bags of lime stacked up against it, wood and all sorts of stuff. So we've got our gloves on because it's a messy job. I'm actually quite excited for it.
Because I'm going to be pointing this wall eventually soon. This wall is going to look beautiful pointed.
Oh, we've got some Danish oils, brilliant. Put that there. Look what I just found. Oh, it's not what I thought it was.
So one of the questions that I got asked in the last video was about this wall behind me and about pointing it, asking why don't we just leave it as it is? And I agree, it does look kind of cool how it is, but the problem is there's lots of gaps and cracks and dust and dirt in between them stones. That needs to come out, and we want to point it because living in a stone building can be notoriously dusty, and that will really help settle the dust if we get rid of all of that crap in between the stones. Also, it stops things being able to live in between the stones and in the cracks and the gaps, like geckos, lizards, mice, rats, that type of thing. So we don't want to be cooking and a little bit of gravel fall out the crack into our dinner. And it may be hard for you guys to see on video because we don't really show that many up close shots of it, but you can see how flaky it is. If I just run my finger, you can hear all of the old mortar coming off, so all of that needs to come out, and there's some pretty big gaps to fill in here, but once it's done it will look marvelous. Job done. I wouldn't exactly call it tidy, but we don't have anywhere else to put any of this stuff, which is quite frustrating. We really need to build a big workshop where we can store this stuff, because it makes it a bit of a pain having to work around this constantly and move it around. But it's in the right place now, because this wall here is ready to be raked out and pointed. So raking out is basically you just go through all of the joints and pull all of the dirt and stuff out of the joints, so it's ready to point. We're going to be using this scaffold here. We got some extensions because I need to get nice and high. But yeah, that's one of the next tasks. I think a workshop or a garage space of some sort where we can actually store this stuff on the land would be a massive help and a priority coming up in the next couple of months, because we're not far off laying the floor, and when we're doing the floor everything has to come out, and then not long after the floor's down we're actually going to move in, so all of this stuff cannot live in the house with us. We can't live amongst a building site, so we are going to have to think about maybe constructing something, maybe just a simple shelter somewhere on the property just to house some tools.
As you can see, the chickens are back. I'm currently giving old Sage a big cuddle because she's definitely the most tame out of all of them and the top of the pecking order. It's so lovely to have them all back here. The two chicks are now fully fledged chickens. As you can see, one of them is a doppelganger of his dad. He is a cockerel and he's stunning. He's really beautiful. And the girl is just an absolute stunner of a chicken. She's what I thought Betty, the original cockerel, was going to be like if he was a hen. But yeah, I'll let you go now. It's so nice to have them back, eating the scraps of dinner that's left over and all the cuttings off of what I'm cooking and stuff like that. To see them rummaging around in the leaves and just having them out and about is so lovely. And obviously a massive benefit of chickens is the eggs, because I have not bought any eggs for over a year now, because it's really nice to get free range eggs.
I don't know if you guys saw that, because I stopped recording as I was going to save Bee's life, because Furrnando was standing on the smaller chicken coop and he pushed the chicken door forwards with his paw and it would have hit Bee on the head and it would have really hurt because that is a big door. So luckily I managed to jump in and intervene just in time.
I'm trying to look at that situation in two ways. Not that my cat tried to kill me, but that he was trying to persuade me to put the door on to lock the chickens up for the night, which I have done now. So thank you, Furrnando. I know it was done with love, but as I was saying, it's really lovely to be getting fresh free range eggs again from the chickens, which is just brilliant because they're the best eggs you can imagine. They're foraging all day every day. They really enjoy going through the leaves and eating all of the critters and stuff. We have hardly any of them around this summer when we were here, which was a massive difference to last summer before they came to live with us. There was just none of the scary things everywhere. Yeah, they get rid of them.
They literally eat them all.
They do. They're really good for that. They also give you eggs and they're just really lovely animals as well. So I'm chuffed to have my chickens back. And thank you actually so much to Ken and Gina for looking after them whilst we were away.
And here's the absolute nutter himself, Furrnando, and we got him a new little bow tie. It's so cute. He had this before, and when we took him to the vet in Portugal, she was loving him so much. She was taking photos and did a little photo shoot, but I actually think he looks quite sinister in it. Because I know how crazy he is wearing a bow tie. He's trying to hit me. Mwah.
He says tonight I'm going to poo on your pillow.
I've got a few little updates to do with the IBC. If you look down here, you'll be able to see I managed to fit a nice new valve. So I've got an on-off which goes directly into the IBC. So when I connect the other end of this to the pump, I can pump straight out the bottom and get every little last drop out of the tank into the tank where I'm putting the water. I just much prefer having like solid metal connections and as little plastic as possible, because you know that in this sun here in Portugal, plastic doesn't last long, and the metal connectors, they're just a lot easier and quicker to take on and off. The next little update is I got 2 square meters of sand delivered, fresh sand, and this is the stuff that I use for pointing. And actually tomorrow I'm going to do some pointing, so it's perfect timing.
Theo has just hopped in the shower. As I'm sure you can hear behind me, the water is running and it's definitely in need of a shower evening because it's been a very full-on day, pretty dusty towards the end, so showers are a wonderful thing to have. And I wanted to say, don't forget to take up Husk's offer of 50% off their knives, but it is only for a limited time only, and you do get a 30-day money-back guarantee with their knives. So click the link in our description or the link in the pinned comment. So thank you so much for watching today. Looking forward to see you next time.